Oh, welcome to the very first episode of the Monday Halving podcast.
What's up, everyone?
This is Nathan. I'm Nishant. Nathan, I guess we should just start by introducing ourselves and trying to figure out why we're here or what are we doing.
Exactly. Okay, so idea of the podcast came to be. So when I interviewed with Carlo here at the brokerage co in South Lake, Ashley Pantuso, our fearless leader,
who's the team leader of KW South Lake. Yep.
She walked me around the building, the office, and we went to a spot, the studio, which is a couple of dollars down. And she said, "Hey, so this is where people do photography and any type of the social media." And I was like, "Hey, what about a podcast?" She goes, "You know what? We actually have a realtor who's thinking about doing a podcast and who has all the equipment set up." I was like, And I got the idea. I got to throw the props on this one. I got the also idea because there's another brokerage that does something similar, but they only talk about real estate.
So it's like a real estate only podcast.
Real estate, and it's from the. I'm not sure if I should mention that.
No. I don't think we did mention it. Well, I give them free advertising.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of got this. What if we do something a little better? And I was like, I need to stand out, And in DFW, there's a bunch of realtors. You need to find a way to kind of stand out.
For sure.
So once I signed on with Keller Williams, we have a thing called boot camp. It's basically showing all new agents, basically, hey, how to do contracts, and do listing appointments, buyers, all that good stuff that kind of sets you a great foundation to move forward.
It's like a crash course for a new agent to become a good agent.
Exactly.
And then that's a stepping stone to become a great agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons I decided to come to Keller Williams.
Sure.
What because of that?
Same.
Because I went to the best source in the internet to find negative reviews, which was Reddit.
Yep.
And I thought, if Reddit talks good about this, it must
be amazing.
It must be good.
Yeah, because everybody on Reddit is talking shit about everything.
Everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was like, all right, if everyone read it here, cool. I have to, So I forgot it was a mortgage class. You were in there.
I was teaching the mortgage class in boot camp.
Yes. Yep. And then from there, you mentioned Bitcoin. And I was like, I was already kind of doing my own thing during the class. You mentioned Bitcoin, and I was like, ta-da. The angels started singing.
Nathan, your face lit up.
Bro, and it was like...
That's the first time I saw your face in after a good hour into the class, because this was an all-morning thing, right?
Exactly,
it was Mortgage 101. And you literally perked up, your face lit up, and we ended up talking, the whole class ended up talking about Bitcoin and crypto for what? Good solid 10, 15 minutes.
Basically, yeah. So I was like, this is my guy, yes, because
I love it.
I didn't...
And by the way, this is 3 weeks ago?
Basically.
4 weeks ago, maybe?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so we've known each other for literally less than a month.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yes, 100% correct. And I was like, this is my guy, because it might, coming from tech and stuff, I didn't, and I've heard that contracts have put on blockchain in terms of deeds, but it's in the EU and in the UAE. So I didn't expect people in the office to be crypto heavy or crypto crazy, right? Until I
or even knowledgeable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like, all right. And I started percolating ideas. So what can we do this? And I came to the office and I was like, you know what?
Wait, I'm going to interrupt you. So prior to you coming to my office to talk about this podcast, we had at least 3, 4, 5 conversations just personally. You would come by my office and just talk about Bitcoin. We would talk about AI. We would talk about we mentioned cars for a minute. So we were just started talking about random things. So it was like the seeds were being planted, right?
100%. It was growing, and there was one charge up class that charge up is basically a weekly class for a new agent, for also existing agents to, get refueled back into the whole real estate market, but also in your business.
Yeah.
And
it's like boot camp is like getting your 4-year degree, and charge up is like your MBA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I talked to Kathy Hamilton, the OG. Shout out to Kathy.
We love Kathy.
Yes.
Shout out to Kathy in the first podcast. I love it. That's so perfect.
Yes. And I was like, hey, Kathy, what do you think about doing a podcast? She I love it. What do you think of doing with Nishant? I think it'd be perfect.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so
I don't know if you know this. My very first open house as an agent was in 2015, and my very first open house was with Kathy Hamilton.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And not one person walked in the door. And so it was like a master class of real estate and being a good person and open houses. and like she's near and dear to my heart. So I love the fact that we're taking a few minutes to talk about Kathy Hamilton because she's amazing.
She's amazing. 100% amazing.
This office is so lucky to have Kathy and Joe Hamilton. I got to put that out there. They're incredible people. Yeah.
Sure. So we have to thank her, part of it, because because
I love it.
She pushed it. So after I had my conversation with Kathy, it was the next day I came to your office. And I was like, "Hey man, you're like, what's up? What do you think about a podcast?" And when I mentioned a podcast, your eyes just went wide open. Like, yes.
100%. You know what's crazy is I had not actually thought about doing a podcast. Like at one point, me and one of my really good friends, Jeremy, shout out Jeremy, you better be watching. But we had mentioned this. This was like, gosh, this had to have been 2018, 2019 to do a crypto Bitcoin podcast. And then it just never came to fruition, right? Life got busy, whatever. And so when you said podcast, it was not that I had been thinking about it, but it was just like instantaneous. This would be the perfect guy to do a podcast with about all the things that we've been talking about. And again, this is a risk, right? I've known you for less than a month.
100%.
But you just seem like, man, we have very similar interests, but also what I love is very different backgrounds. You come from a tech background. I come from a finance background. I've been in real estate for a long time. You've been in tech for a long time. And so, but it's just having conversations with you just about certain things that we're already interested in. We're just like, there was no struggle to get there. It was never, I never wanted to be like, oh man, I hope Nathan gets out of the office. Like, these were fun conversations. And I just immediately thought, man, this would be fun to do a podcast. Like, if anything else, if 4 people watch forever, it would just be a fun thing to do for 30 minutes, an hour a week. It would be fun. I could learn some things.
We're talking almost like a water cooler thing a little bit in some retrospects, and we're having amazing conversation, getting to know each other. And from the interactions we've had, it hasn't been like that brief, hey, couple, few minute conversations.
Yeah.
It's been like,
and so we could sit there and talk about it for an hour if we weren't busy with work.
There was one time, it was myself and 2 other colleagues in your office. We spent like more than 40 minutes just talking about, it was AI. You had Bloomberg on, and it was like, hey, look what they're talking about, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency stuff. And then we talked about cars. So it just
it was a variety of things.
Exactly. So just a natural progression.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I got to ask you. So you said you have a tech background.
Yes.
So talk to me about your tech background. Like, what did you do before real estate?
Yeah.
And then I'd love to hear about like why you went out of tech and got into real estate, because it's still totally different things. Even though, like, KW, they pride themselves in being like a tech company.
Yes.
Like Gary Keller's literally said, we're a technology company. And so that's hilarious to you because you come from actual tech companies. I don't, not that Keller Williams is not, but like I think the focus is so different from what it was 5-10 years ago in real estate.
100%. So I went to school for computer science.
Okay.
And at UTD, and then I worked at Microsoft, and then I worked at Apple. I did some development work at Apple, and then I transitioned from there because at Apple I got a chance to do a little bit of mentorship, and it was in product. And in product, I fell in love with it because I can have my hands in various
product and Apple. That's like the holy grail of positions, right?
Yeah, product manager at Apple. Again,
that's what you want to do.
I wanted to do that. Yeah. That's the mountain I want to climb. I see myself one day giving part of a keynote speech at Apple. So when they do like the WWDC, hey Tim Cook, hey, now to Nathan to talk about the iPhone 24. So that was my vision, right? And it kind of still is in a little retrospect because I'm a big Apple guy. I love their ecosystem, their design language. That's all me. But I noticed that it's going to be a big hurdle to get into that. So I was like, well, the next big thing is to go outside, unfortunately. So I started looking for product jobs, but even product manager jobs, product owner jobs outside of Apple were very hard to come by at that time. So I found a product adjacent job, which was in project management.
At a startup, right?
At a startup, at an infrastructure startup. And the person who gave me my shot, who is my mentor to this day, her name is Monica. Monica, I hope you're watching. She took me on her wing, and she was a product manager before. So I was able to do some sales engineering, some project management, but then start to get my feet wet into product.
Cool.
From there, I left there and went into product management in other startups.
Okay.
And in my last product management startup, I was laid off unfortunately. But at the same time, I see these as blessings in disguise.
Opportunities, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, what can I do? I can day trade, but at the same time, I want to invest in real estate. So I took it as and put it as an investment route.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? This is a lot of money for it to go into something. It's a majority of my savings. If I want to do 3 or 4 houses, do I really want to go on that aspect? What is kind of the safer side? When I say safer side,
being a real estate agent.
Exactly, right? So I applied it. I went to a real estate school called Champion School of Real Estate.
I went to the same place.
Yeah, so amazing place. And I started work on my real estate license. During that time, I got caught up from a cryptocurrency company in the Netherlands to be a product manager.
Really? That's amazing.
So right now, I'm a part-time product manager at the crypto startup.
No kidding. Yes. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
So we're doing that. We're doing our building up a tier 2 exchange.
Cool.
But at the same time, so all right, I can do that on the side, right? Still have my feet in the tech world, but also do real estate. And it's funny when you mentioned, Gary Keller says we're a tech company, and by all means, I'm not trying to go into what Gary Keller is saying, but one of the things I told Ashley Pantuso, when she interviewed me, is I see a lot of antiquated stuff in real estate.
100%.
A lot of antiquated stuff. I'm pretty sure you see.
Well, I don't think this is the thing. I think anybody that's been in real estate will never argue with that point because it's facts. We do a lot of things that are very archaic in terms of the systems, the way we just we're not in 2025. We're still 5 to 10 years behind in tech for the most part. Right? 100%. This is not Keller Williams. This is the whole industry.
Yeah. So with my background in tech and then also creating digital products, I'm like, I can make this so much better. The user experience. I can be, because I'm known to create a user roadmap, user journeys, right? How can I transition into what I have to do on myself? Because there is 2 products. You obviously have the house, right? But then you have the actual real estate agent. Their product is themselves, their service, how they service, their client. And obviously you got the physical house. So I was like, there's my niche. I can build that. So I was like, let me do these 2. Let me blend my tech background with real estate and try to also come up with new processes and new procedures.
I love it.
To, disrupt. To me, again, so my whole Apple background is like, make a dent in the universe.
Yeah, 100%.
To me, it was like, that was the whole thing. Steve Jobs, make a dent, think different.
See, this is what I like. I love the mindset. Yeah. Like, you're not just looking into it just to be an average Joe. You're not going into it just to pay the bills, right? You're wanting to make a big impact.
Exactly.
And coming from a tech background, you're the perfect guy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see the holes that most other agents are just trained a certain way, and you're not seeing those holes.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things now is like the whole AI thing, right?
Yeah.
The AI thing. So, and again, I hate to keep on going back to my interview with Ashley, but I was like, hey, what are you guys doing for AI agents? Mm-hmm. Because we hear in
what did she say? I'm curious.
She goes like, yeah, we're working on stuff. The industry's moving that way. It was at that time, Mega Camp was a week later.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that there.
And Mega Camp, for y'all non-real estate agents or not at KW.
Yes.
So Mega Camp is basically an annual conference, more or less, in Austin that they did. And it's education. It's getting agents up to date in terms of what the company's doing, but what the market is doing, how to enable the Keller Williams agents on how to become better agents, how to be more successful, but also get them to grow and expand and help their business, basically.
100%. Right? Yeah. And it's also like, I want to say it's like a recentering, but also like a buying back into like what we're trying to do, right? How to be better.
Yep.
Because it's if you read the MRE, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, it's all how to grow, the growth mindset and all that good stuff. So she mentioned, we're going to talk about that. I'm like, great, because let's be honest, when you're in real estate, there's only so much cold calling, door knocking, marketing that you can do. With AI agents, it's 24/7.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think the writing's on the wall, right? Because AI is changing everything. And people 100%. Used to Google stuff. I used to be like, oh, Google it. When was the last time you heard somebody say Google it? Now it's
ChatGPT.
Go to ChatGPT. Yeah. And because guess why? Because we as a society, I think, have become, we're lazy. right?
Yeah.
Google still requires me to scroll and then click on multiple links to actually read something and do
100%.
the research and then come up with my own synopsis or my own opinions on all these different things that I just read. Well, ChatGPT, I ask it a question and it'll tell me, right? And so it's this is the future of, I think, every industry in some capacity.
100%. So hopefully with this podcast we can delve more into those conversations.
Yeah, I love it.
Peel the onion. But what I want to know is also what drew you into first real estate, but then from real estate into lending.
Yeah.
So those are like
my journey is very, I don't want to say different, or like you hear a lot of real estate agents that came from corporate America. So I was in finance. Yeah. So after college, I got into a local brokerage company. It's a nationwide brokerage company, but they're based locally. They've gotten bought out now. So Mr. Schwab has bought them out. I'll just leave it at that. Mr. Schwab has bought them out. So they no longer here, but all my old friends are over at Schwab now, right? But so I was there for like 9.5 years, and man, like I used to actually think it was like as soon as I got out, I was like, God, I wish I didn't spend so much time. Like I'm so thankful for my time there, because I will never go back to corporate America. Like the corporate ladder is very steep, very tall,
100%.
And especially with a corporation like that, right? And so, luckily, in my 20s, I realized like this is not for me. It's just like I enjoyed it. I learned so many lessons from it. I made some great, amazing people. I met great, amazing people there. But thankfully, I learned the lesson of like corporate America is just not for me.
Yeah.
But I learned this at a very, I don't want to say young age, but before I was 30, 31-ish.
So before you move on, I do, because you said finance, I do have to ask.
Yeah.
Were you a finance bro who wore the Patagonia vest with, have you seen that?
Yeah. No, man, and this is the thing, right? We're not in New York. We're not on the stock exchange. So it was different, right?
Okay,
like, it was different. Like I would wear this, basically. Like my real estate attire was almost exactly like my corporate America attire.
100%. So
yeah, it was just different.
We used to finance, right? Like, do I see Nishan with the Patagonia vest?
No, I've never owned a Patagonia vest. Actually,
sorry, I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
But carry on.
So I had recently gotten married, and then basically I was just unhappy, right? I was just unhappy with life. My paycheck wasn't as large as I wanted it to be, or I was working for it. And so real estate was one of those weird things. Like I always thought about being a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And then one day I just got really fed up at work. I came home, my brand new wife, who'd been married for literally months at this point. We got a new little puppy. And after work one day, we were taking our dog for a walk. And I was like, I just looked at my wife and I said, I think I'm going to quit.
No way.
Yeah. And so I was anticipating a response of, wait, what? What are we going to do?
That's
so my wife had just graduated law school.
Okay.
She didn't have a job yet.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm now in our tiny little apartment in Roanoke. I'm the sole breadwinner at this point. And her reaction to me was, thank God.
Okay.
And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you're clearly miserable. You don't like it there. It takes you an hour to decompress. She goes, any position that you're in, if it takes you an hour to decompress from it, to de-stress, and then I see you in the morning, you're just like, you're dreading going to work. She's like, make a change. So she asked me, what do you want to do? And I was like, I think I want to go into real estate. I want to be a real estate agent.
That's amazing. How did that make you feel when she was like, you know what, do it? Like,
it was great. We're young and broke, and so we didn't have much to lose.
Yeah.
It was like worst case scenario, I go find another corporate job, right?
Yeah.
And so luckily that trend has continued throughout my life with in my marriage in terms of like I'm not risk adverse. I'm very like, just if you feel it, if the universe or God or whatever you believe in is telling you to do something, you should just do it. Yeah. Listen to your intuition.
100%.
Right? So my intuition was telling me I needed to get into real estate. So that was like I think that was a Thursday or Friday. And then a week and a half later I was at Champions. So I put in my 2 weeks.
That quick.
I put in my 2 week notice, and they told me not to come back essentially. And so the 2 week, they were like, we're gonna pay you up for the 2 weeks, just don't come back. Right? Wow. Finance world is a little bit different, right?
Really?
If you're exiting, I don't know how it is now. This was a long time ago, right? This was 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
This is 2015 actually, the beginning of 2015. So it might have changed, but my experience was just good luck, don't come back, kind of a thing.
It's so much different in tech.
Yeah, in a nice way, but I didn't go back for the rest of my 2 weeks. I got paid for it, luckily. But so I enrolled in Champions. And during the Champions, Champions is a school of real estate.
Yes.
It's there's Fort Worth, there's a Dallas branch, there's a bunch of them, but I was in the Fort Worth one. And
1 second. Please sponsor us, Champions, please.
Champions, yes. School of Real Estate. We're shouting you out. Yes, we'll do it. Yeah. We love you guys.
Go ahead.
I actually went through Champions to get my lending license as well. So my mortgage license is through Champions as well. So I love the interruption. Please sponsor us.
Yeah, please.
Anyway, so yeah, man. So I got into real estate. I chose Keller Williams for very similar reasons. The education. Leslie Akers was the team leader at the time, and this lady was like a force to be reckoned with. She was an incredible person, not only personally but spiritually, ethically. Her ethical standards were just untouchable. The culture of this office, I walked in the door, and this wasn't even the new nice fancy office that we have now. I was in the old office, which was not nice, but I walked in and you just felt it, right? Like whenever, again, I'm a believer in going with your intuition.
Yeah.
And it just felt like the right place to be. And so I joined up, and that was it. And so I did that for years and years and years. And then COVID hit. We had little babies at the time. And, things just changed. I wanted to spend my Saturday mornings, my only 2 days off, Saturdays and Sundays, at home with my new baby.
Yeah.
And so priorities changed a lot. I never stopped loving real estate. I've always had a real estate brain. And so that's actually the real reason why I left real estate. It's just like we had a new baby. And, my experience, I won't go into it, but my experience growing up, my parents worked a lot. They were immigrants. They worked in order to provide us and get us to where we're at today. And so I'm like, the way I look at being a parent, it's like I'm going to give my kids not even like money or material things. I'm like, I'm just going to give them the things that I didn't have because my parents did the same thing for me.
Exactly.
And so
paying it forward.
The one thing that was I wish was a little different. I had an amazing childhood, right? Yeah. But my parents worked a lot. And so I realized I was doing the same thing that my parents were doing. And for a good reason, right? It's all good intentions, building a life for my kids and, making sure that they're established and well taken care of. But man, like Saturday mornings going to show houses, and then the afternoon going to do an open house, and then Sunday mornings after, church, you go and show more houses. It's all of a sudden, it's like I'm missing this cute little baby time. And so I took a little hiatus. I stepped back from real estate. I was day trading. I tried to do I tried and failed a nonprofit to feed the homeless. It was great while it lasted, but it just wasn't sustainable in terms of building a future for my kids. It doesn't pay a lot. And so, man, I could just never get real estate out of my head.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I started exploring. Like I got to a point where I'm like, I want to get back in real estate, but I'm not going to go back being an agent because of the reasons that I left. I still want to spend time. And at this point now, we have 2 little kids. So I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I still want to be able to spend time with them on weekends because, they're off of school, and, weekends for a real estate agent is go time.
Open houses.
It's go time. Yeah, that's when you're working. That's when the majority of your work happens is on the weekends. That's when other people are off, right? And so I just started thinking about I'm a finance guy. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a nerd. And so I just, I don't know. It just kind of dawned on me. I had a brief encounter with Pam Anderson, who's with Supreme Lending. At the event here at the office, they do a Christmas movie on the rooftop of the parking lot.
Really?
Yeah, they have a huge projector screen and then hot cocoa, and they do everything. This is every winter, so I was home alone. So we brought my 2 little kids, and I hadn't seen Pam in years at this point. And so she just briefly mentioned, we're talking about planting the seeds, right? Yeah. She's like, why don't you come work for us and be a lender? I was like, no. And I just sort of passed it off without really giving it really thought. And I couldn't get it out of my head. So literally 3 weeks later, again, I'm a very quick decision maker. I say 3 weeks is a quick decision making for making a career change. I think that's pretty quick. So I talked to my wife, and I'm like, I think I want to be a lender. And she looked at me crazy again. I've had a lot of these moments with my wife, but she looked at me and she's like, okay, go do it. Yeah, absolutely. And she's like, so that was a Thursday, I believe.
Okay.
Monday, I was enrolled at Champions for my mortgage class.
Okay.
That Thursday. So I'm a mortgage lender with Supreme Lending. And the reason, like literally, they were the only ones on my list. So Pam Anderson, Jason Rasmussen were always my go-to lenders throughout my entire real estate career. As soon as either one of them were taking care of one of my clients, it was like not even a thought to me.
Yeah, it's just automatically
like,
them.
Like I was talking about earlier, the ethical standards are just beyond the average for the industry, right? The hand holding, the customer service, like they're not. None of my clients had ever felt like they were just a transaction.
Yeah.
Pam comes to every single closing, right? Like they were just like incredible people, but they were also very integrated into the office in terms of educating new agents, and like they helped me out a lot, like coming up, and so they were always my go-to.
You know, to speak on that, I did a showing this past Wednesday, and it was around like around 6:30. We ended up walking away from the house after the showing around 7 o'clock. I called Pam. It was like 7:15 because we were talking. Boom, Pam picks up.
Absolutely, 100%.
Picks up, you know, and my client in front of him was like surprised, like the bank is picking you up right now. So the customer service that I can 100% attest to that.
And so so the Monday I was in class at Champions, I had texted Jason, and he hasn't heard from me, by the way, like for like a good solid 5 years at this point. It's maybe not that long, but it was years. And I was like, Jason, I'm looking for a career change. I was wondering if I could just buy you breakfast. What's good for you, like this week? And he's like, what about Thursday morning? I'm like, okay, great. So I met him Thursday morning. We had an incredible, like almost 2-hour conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he's like, hey, man, like, you know, he's known me at this point for like a solid 10 years. Because I'd love to be on the list of like people that you would consider like, you know, thinking about.
Yeah.
And I was very upfront. I was very honest with him. I was like, look, Jason, you're the only one on the list.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely, like, if you told me you didn't have, if you weren't looking for a new loan officer, because in all the years I've been here, I've never seen them hire anybody. I've never seen a new loan. It's always been Jason and Pam, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so I went in not expecting to be, like, getting a job offer by any means. Like, he's just been in the industry since he was 18 years old. He's been in basically in the lending world since he was 18 years old. I think, sorry, Jason, I think he's approaching 50 now. Right? So it's a long time. And so I really just wanted his feedback. I'm like, should I just go to like Bank of America, get a job, like be a loan officer there to learn the basics, learn to like get off.
That's a logical question.
You know, like, or would you suggest I do this or do that? Like, what would you do if you're in my position? I'm 43 years old. I'm changing careers. What would you do in my position? Yeah. And so it was a great conversation. But at the end, I told him, I was like, you're the only one on the list, man. And he just looked at me and said, okay, well, once you pass your test, let me know. And a few weeks later, I took the test. I passed. It was great. And he immediately was like, great, we'll start the onboarding process. Yeah.
So people don't know, what test did you take?
It's the mortgage lending test.
Gotcha.
It's the nationwide NMLS test, which is quite the challenge. Fail rate is pretty high, but man, I studied solid. I mean, it was my full-time job just studying for this test. Because once I do something, I'm all in.
Same way.
Right. And so, man, that's it. And then it was incredible because I remember my first day back into this office, because Pam and Jason office out of here.
Yeah.
My old real estate office was I was an agent just right down the hallway. Yeah. And so I'm passing people that I've known for 10 years. And so I feel incredibly blessed and grateful that I'm in an office that I'm not a new face, right? I may be somewhat new in the lending world, but I have been in real estate for 10 years. And so a lot of the agents in the office, they've known me for 10 years. And so I'm in a great position, man. So that's my very long explanation on how I went from corporate America to being a real estate agent to mortgage lending.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of my old clients have even heard the story. Like, a lot of people have never really shared into that amount of detail of like how that went down.
That's a great segue, because one of the main purpose of this podcast is to create that connection between you and I, but also for our audience to see a different side of us and also to connect.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're going to be talking about, again, real estate. We're going to be talking about the finance and mortgage lending, but also, like I mentioned, AI, technology, cars.
Yep.
But we want this podcast to be a learning, I don't say a learning center, but a podcast where you can get knowledge, educate yourself, because I do feel, at least in the real estate industry, it's one of the parts that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. So is that your sort of we haven't even discussed this, right?
No.
Like, what's your idea of like what this podcast should be and will be and will morph into? Because I think what I like about this is like none of this is scripted.
No.
We're just shooting the shit, having conversations like we were without the camera on, right? Basically, right? And so, what's your idea of the podcast? Like, what's your goals? Like, not even goals. Forget goals. How do you see this happening? Like, I think every conversation is going to be off the cuff, not planned, not scripted, but more importantly, like, what are the things that you want to talk about? So you mentioned AI, you mentioned real estate, mortgage lending. We're Bitcoiners.
Yes.
This is one of the things that connected us is that we're both into crypto. 100%. Yeah.
That, but also have it be fun. Have amazing conversations. For us to get to know each other, but also provide a platform where we can bring in and usually leading persons like on the crypto side, whomever, and we can just talk to shit. Yeah. Be somewhere where people can turn us on and learn, or just enjoy hearing us having a great conversation.
I love it.
Because great podcasts are that. It's just not like, hey, I'm teaching you something. No.
And I don't like the podcasts that are just one subject, right? No. So when you approached me initially, I love that you immediately were like, listen, I don't want this to be a real estate podcast. No. I don't want this to be a mortgage lending podcast. Because, like, listen, like, you may listen to one or two of those, and then it's like, all right, man, I got it. Like, I don't want to, the podcast that I personally listen to, it's like, they're different all the time.
Yes.
Right? There's different people coming to visit. There's different conversations. It's also not scripted. It's also just, what do you think about this? And hey, did you see that in the news? Or did you hear what Trump said? Or did you hear about that new regulation? Or hey, did you see Bitcoin?
Yes.
Or did you hear about what AI just did? And I love that because it just gives us a broad spectrum of things that we're already interested in.
100%.
So it's not like, I'll be honest, we're not going to be talking about anything that's not interesting for us. To be honest,
because there's no point.
Why would we?
Yeah, because us will be like, we'll hate talking about it, but our audience will definitely see that we're not interested.
I agree.
And then you guys will just turn off or do something else.
Because I would.
Yes, I would too.
Because you could tell.
Yeah. So like, if we're taking the same aspect and building a product, right? We have to show our value proposition, what we're here for, but at the same time, build that user. I feel like that user experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
That we engage, we get that buy-in from you guys, from the guests we have planned coming onto the podcast. Yeah. And again, it's a big type of fellowship.
I love it.
It's just two guys, cool guys talking to each other about interests they like. We'll also obviously talk about real estate, obviously talk about lending, but cool topics that we find.
Like I want to do a full podcast on Bitcoin basics, right?
Yes.
I think what ends up happening is like you search on YouTube for something, and it's like it's really difficult to find something that's completely unbiased. Number one.
Yeah.
Right. Like I am a firm believer about talking about both sides.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the vast majority of people. Like if you turn on the news, it's you're on this side or you're on this side. Mm-hmm. And like, man, 99% of the people I know are like kind of in the middle. And I'm not even talking about politics. Yeah. I'm talking about everything. This is just everything, right?
We're talking like Bitcoin, right? Just the whole transition of what Bitcoin was and the perception.
Yeah.
2017, 2018 to now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are still in that middle ground.
Not only in the middle ground, it's either absolutely nothing or very little.
Yeah.
Or you're one of the crypto bros and you can sit there and talk about Bitcoin for 3 straight hours and it goes over everybody's head.
You're like deer headlights.
I want to fill that middle gap, right? Yes. So how do you so I did a crypto class, a crypto and real estate sort of combo class here a couple of weeks ago. You were invaluable in that class.
I appreciate it.
And that's what made me so excited about this because we literally, do you remember the very first question in the class was, what is Bitcoin?
Yes.
After 2 hours, people were downloading apps.
Yes.
And trying to figure out how do they set it up and how do they fund their crypto accounts.
100%.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And for like that to me just showed me, okay, there's a gap here where I think people are nervous to learn about all the technical stuff in the world. I'm talking about AI. Like, dude, I can't explain AI other than what I've read and like, you know what I mean? I'm not a programmer. I'm not a computer scientist. I don't have the background that you have, but I think that's what is nice.
Yes.
Right? That you can provide a little bit more of the technical aspect and then maybe in terms of like AI and more of the technical stuff. But then also it's like, real estate, I have a little bit more experience than you,
Yeah.
and I can. So like I
Feed
think
off
we're
each
going to
other.
play off of each other in a really, really great way because, again, I want to fill that gap. I want somebody to watch, be able to click that Bitcoin podcast that we're eventually going to do, and go from what in the hell is Bitcoin to at the end of the podcast be like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I may not know the specific technicals behind it and all the math behind it and how this works and how that works, but now I can go to my client, or if somebody comes to me and starts talking about Bitcoin, I'm not completely lost, and I don't think it's just a Ponzi scheme or fake internet money.
Thank you.
Right?
It's that
like,
education behind it.
Yeah.
To people like, hey, Nisha and Nathan explained it so much that I changed, maybe not change the full view of it, but give them a perspective. And what? Let me check it out. Let's give people the information, the data, so they can evaluate for themselves. And I say,
I wasn't going into that class wanting to convert anybody.
No, but it was literally, guys.
I didn't.
Everyone. It was like hands up. Where can we sign up?
It was wild.
Yes,
it was wild, and that's not at all what I was expecting. No. I was expecting it just to be who in this class knows nothing, and it was the vast majority of like I've heard of it, no idea what it is. No idea how to do it or what it is or how the use case is or like what do you do? You can't hold it, so it's fake.
Yeah.
That kind of like we accomplished all those goals and it was amazing, right? So I want to do something exactly like that, but for this podcast, but in a variety of different subjects. Like I want to talk about cars because I'm a huge car guy. You're a huge car guy.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about AI, real estate, crypto. I want to talk about just whatever is interesting in the week.
Yeah.
And we're going to wing it.
100%. Because there might be conversations or podcasts because I like to cook. I love to smoke barbecue.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
The pandemic.
Dude, why have I not had barbecue yet?
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
Let's do it.
The pandemic.
Hey, one of these podcasts should be us grilling.
Exactly,
I love it. Make me some brisket.
Yeah. So I spent hours and hours just deep diving. First, how to make sourdough, because everyone was making sourdough during the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then from there's this guy on YouTube called Joshua Weissman.
Okay.
So I was watching. I was at my parents' house, and I told my mom, "Hey, mom, look, this looks great." And she did this to this day. I remember she goes, "You watch all these videos, but you don't do anything." And it was like a click, boom, challenge accepted. The next day, I went to the store, bought all the ingredients. I made Cuban bread.
I love it.
Sandwich.
That's so cool.
So stuff like that, we're going to talk about interests that that from you that I don't know, that I genuinely want to know more about you, obviously, right?
So, that's what I love. We don't barely know each other, right? Like I know we have similar interests, but like our backgrounds are so different. All right, how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, so I'm 43. Yeah. So we're sort of in the same age group a little bit, but we've obviously lived very different lives, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be great to be able to feed off of each other.
100%.
I think that's our cue.
Yeah. So next,
I think that's our cue. I love
it. Our second episode will be about Bitcoin and real estate because there's a lot of topics. And one of the things that I want to get your opinion and I want us to talk about is, for years, for decades, the nomenclature has been, if you want to build wealth, it's been buy real estate.
Sure.
Right, buy real estate. But now, as of yesterday, I didn't look at the price of Bitcoin today. It was $122,000. Do you have it up there?
Today's not been a great day. Yeah, we're at 117.
Okay, well,
it's been
$5,000. $117,000. I mean, that's But we want to talk about, now it's getting to a point where is it better to put your money in cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, or continue
the stock market,
or buy real estate? So I want to get your point and this, to see where you stand on it. The ability now to try to purchase maybe property, or what there is to do. Let's say if I do have a couple $100,000 worth of Bitcoin,
sure.
What can I do with that in terms of things?
What's interesting about, I think, our next topic is, so the reason I did the Bitcoin class downstairs for all the agents in the office was that now all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I have real estate agents coming to us, to me, saying, I had 2 people at the open house ask me if they could buy a house with Bitcoin, and I had no idea how to answer them. I have a listing that he's saying he wants to accept Bitcoin for his property. Is that legal?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
what does that mean? What is Bitcoin? How do we transfer it? How does it go through the title process? So I think what's happening is the lines between, it's always you either talk about crypto or you talk about real estate. And those lines are merging quickly.
A lot quicker than people would think.
And so I think that's an amazing topic because number one, it's becoming more and more prevalent in our industry, in real estate, but also in the crypto space. More and more crypto holders are thinking about leveraging their crypto, which are now these massive fat bags that they've been holding on for years, and saying, maybe I need to diversify and get into real estate, right? And so 100%. I think not just for real estate agents, not just for mortgage lenders, because the regulation even for mortgage lenders has been fascinating over the last 6 months. Things have changed. The U.S. government is changing in a great way for crypto, right? And so, but I think even for the average Joe, just to have let's say, like you said, if somebody thinking about buying an investment property, well, have they done the calculations on what if I buy an investment property versus maybe taking half of that or all of that and putting it into an investment like crypto or the stock market? Like, what does that look like?
100%.
So that's what we're going to do that's the next episode. We're not going to go off on tangents. No. It's going to be hard for us, y'all. But the very next episode is literally going to be crypto and real estate and the correlation there, what that means for you, whether you're an investor, whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're a lender. Like, these are all conversations I think would be, this is a topic that all of those people are really going to need to be, well versed in. Yes. Not just now, but I think over the next 4 or 5 years, this conversation is not going to be one-offs. They're going to be every single week. Somebody's going to be asking a real estate agent about their crypto portfolio.
Yeah. Because you're starting to see in other countries implement the blockchain with real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's bound to happen that we as a country are going to have to start seeing regulations to kind of abide by that.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to you guys about. So there have been properties in this country that have been purchased and sold with just Bitcoin. And it's fascinating. Yeah. But we're going to talk about that next 100%. Time. Y'all, please, we have a YouTube channel. The Monday Halving, that's literally it is at the Monday Halving. We have an Instagram account. We're both going to share this on our personal Facebook pages. Mm-hmm. We'd love to hear from you guys. If there's anything that you guys would love for us to talk about, if you say, hey, we need an AI podcast, we need to be talking about ChatGPT versus Perplexity, or hey, how is AI going to change real estate, or how is AI going to just change the world just in general? Like, this does not have to be real estate specific. No.
Neither is our goal just talk about lending or real estate. Like we said,
we're going to talk about that because that's our world.
Exactly.
Right. But this is not a lending. This is not a real estate podcast by any means, but this is our expertise, and that's what we're going to be able to provide, those unique perspectives for, people who are not even in the real estate industry.
100%.
So we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
Please subscribe. I'm going to do the whole YouTuber thing. Subscribe, like, share. We're not going to be those guys. But we'd love to hear your feedback, right? If you want us to keep this short, if you want a longer podcast, you're like, you guys talk for way too long.
Yes.
Whatever it is, we'd love to hear your feedback, and we look forward to for the next podcast. I think it's going to be great, man. Yes, I'm looking forward to doing this with you. I really am.
100%.
I think it's going to be cool.
It's going to be a highlight of my week. Every time we're recording these things,
it's fun.
Oh
I have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is cool.
As long as we have fun, our audience is enjoying it. The sky's the limit.
Agreed.
The sky's
100%.
The limit. All right.
Cool.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.